Before I leave today, I wanted to share a strong thought that I've been having past couple days. It's really been in my face about the birthright in Genesis regarding Esau. And I was listening to, so I'll read the story of the birthright in a little bit here. It's Genesis chapter 25, verse 27 through 34. That's what I'll be reading. Just to reiterate it, we've talked about it many times, but um, I was listening to a pretty well-known controversial media person recently. I don't want to say his name because apparently if you say his name they ban you, so I won't say it, but it was a very good point that he made about what's going on right now uh, in America. And a lot of scary things are happening. Like right at this moment, things will be fine for a little while, but there's very bad things on the horizon, in my opinion. Uh, might be factual. I don't know, but it's just my opinion. That's what I am anticipating. It's not looking good for us as a nation. Um, the birthright. Are we like Esau giving up his birthright with what's going on right now? That's the point I want to make. Because I'm just going to read the passage first, and then I'm going to try to tie it in with things that are going on right now. So, the sale of the birthright, chapter 25 of Genesis, verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. That's an interesting difference between the two characters, just that in itself. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up, and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. What's happened? What was America all about in its foundation, the United States? What have we been about? Why does the whole rest of the world want to come here and live here? What is the difference between us and the rest of the world? What has been the difference? It's freedom. And I think God, from the beginning, He doesn't need me, He doesn't need you. He doesn't need any of us. He's God. But He wants us. He wants us because if He needed me, if He wanted me to go build something, or go do something, He could just go beep boop beep boop bop, bop, beep 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 bop, bop, and then I'm just a robot, I'm a Terminator, and I just go and do what He wants me to do, you know. versus he asks me and he loves me and he wants me to love him and to keep his commandments and to love others. And he wants me to choose him. You see? Now you could get into the argument with the atheist, I'm sure, about predestination and do you really have a choice? Do you really have free will? I don't want to get into that argument. I don't care about that. But I think he wants us through this life and the blessings we've been given. We've been given. We are more blessed than any nation right now, and we have been for years. We are so blessed. We've, we have so much, and we have so much freedom we've had, and now, and we take that for granted so much. I could use so many examples, but I won't go into that. But you should know the freedom, the blessing that we've received in this country. We have freedom to choose to go this way or that way or God's way. We have all these choices and we get to make that decision. We have the freedom to choose what we want to do with our lives in the pursuit of happiness. Now, what the rest of the world has had, and what a lot of people, you think of communist China, do they have a choice in the jobs they choose or the pay that they get? Or are they just slaves to a system that hates them? And, are we headed in that direction to not have the right to choose? What about our liberties, our free speech, our free will to go where we want to go and do what we want to do? Right? And now we have this new phenomena, this new thing. It's called the coronavirus. And liberties, freedoms have been suspended. Stores are closing. I'm blessed to be in a essential job, essential worker. I work, at a small retail store. And so I get to go to work. So many businesses have closed because the government has deemed them non-essential. And then you would respond to me, well, Alex, they're trying to prevent the spread of the virus. What has God given you to help you deal with the virus? So we don't even want to pursue that, He's given you an immune system. Viruses are attacking us 24/7. Different strains of flu. Hasn't God given us a body that's so incredible that it adapts to different environments, different enemies attacking it? Shouldn't we be allowed to make a decision whether we're going to self-quarantine, we're going to stay away from all these viruses? Shouldn't I be allowed to choose whether I'm going to stay in? Okay, that's fine if you want to do that. I'm not belittling you. I like taking safe measures. That's good. That's a good thing. But when it restricts, when it hurts one group of people over another, prevents them from going back to work, earning money, paying for their kids, paying for their house, paying for rent. Don't you see the problem with all this? Don't you see where this is going? You suspend all freedom, you suspend all rights. And what are we turning into, you know? And that's the key of my topic. You could branch out any way with all the things we're talking about here, but that's the one that really makes me angry. My friend, in quotations, maybe, I don't know. We talked about the virus a little bit, you know. I was asking him about how it is in his state, you know, how he's doing, and what all measures is his state doing. I live in Ohio. He lives in a state down south, and pretty much the exact same thing. You know, they've closed down all the non-essential businesses, and you're not supposed to be on the road. You're supposed to be quarantining. How long, by the way, are we supposed to just hide in our houses? Nobody wants to pursue that. Anyway, he says to me then, he used another stupid saying that just infuriates me. But I don't remember what it was because it was so stupid. That my freedom, he brought up the church issue today. There are people that still want to have church, and they're taking all the precautions, you know. There are people in the church, they come to the church. Usually these churches are pretty big, you know. But small congregation, and they're all spread out in the pews. They're trying to maintain social distance, and they're maintaining their distances in the pews, you know. Only like 5 people in the pew, and they're all spaced out like 5 feet between each other, and they all got hand sanitizer. Get the hand sanitizer! They got the hand sanitizer out at every pew. Make sure you sanitize. Gotta sanitize right now. They got all this set up. They're taking all the precautions. They're not going, peace be with you, peace be with you. They're not hugging and kissing and all that. You know, they're doing everything they advise. But then police come in. I think a neighbor informed on this church, you know, and the police come in and they arrest the pastor, and they probably put some fine on every single car in the parking lot. You're illegally going to church. That'll be a $500 fine so I can buy more donuts. You see where this is all going? I think you should have the right to choose whether I want to go to church and worship God today, or do I make the choice to stay in my house and, you know, not expose myself to the virus? I think we all should have the freedom to choose what we're going to do, where we're going to go, how we're going to think. Instead, my friend is saying to me, no, Alex, you don't have any right to go to church and make that decision. The government has already made that decision for you that it's not safe. It's not safe! I just want to punch him, you know, when he says, you know, it isn't safe, you're right, but I'm going to make that decision. Let's say I get the virus. Then my body is going to fight the virus.
But Alex, see, you don't get it. You're endangering me. When you get the virus, you're endangering me then, and I might get the virus. So you're a murderer!
That's what they jump to. That's what they jump to, that conclusion, that I'm a murderer then if I chose to go to church, and then I happen to encounter him. I'm spreading the virus. You know, if I weaponized the virus and turned it into like a gaseous gun, and I went through the neighborhood spraying the neighborhood with poisonous gas, you know, that would be me intentionally trying to murder people, you know. But me just walking around like, hey bro, how you going? Oh, now I'm a murderer just doing that, you know. You see how stupid this all is? We just concluded Joshua in this reading here, and I think it totally relates how a generation forgets the previous generation, and they forget what they do and how they think and where they come from. That's where we are today. Americans, you have no idea what freedom is anymore. You're pathetic. You've given up your birthright for a bowl of soup! Isn't that what we've done? We've given up our freedom now for the vaccine. The vaccine will be ready in less than a year, and then you will be mandatorily, you know, that may happen. I told that to my boss. I said, you're going to have to fire me. I said that to him. I said it right to his face. You're going to have to fire me because I'm not taking any mandatory vaccine. He didn't like that, you know, because I think he's a liberal, you know, but maybe he isn't. I don't know. I haven't really talked politics. He tries to avoid that. It's pretty smart that he does that, you know. That's where we're headed. You don't have the right to choose whether they stick you with that needle and the poison. You don't get to choose that anymore. You don't have that right. Because I'm a murderer, right? Just because I exist, I'm a murderer now. That's what these idiots think. God, help us. A generation of morons is in control. God help us.